tonight I'm going to review some penny farthing by Pease. You may or may not know, but this has just been released as of like the 9th, maybe 8th of July. Today is the 11th, so it's pretty new. It's been out for about 3 days now. It's the first time I believe that Pease has released a blend in about 2 years. I think that maybe Stonehenge was his last blend that he came out with. Anyway, penny farthing, it's in the, I believe in the Old London series, and it's named after the bicycle penny farthing. And so I have no clue, and it's a shag cut. We're going to get there on that. So, but this is just a first impressions video, and I really don't know where the name comes from, but would be interesting to me just in looking at it. I've already cracked it open and looked at it and smelled a little bit, but I'm still going to give you my first impressions. I wonder if some of that has to do with the components, that there's a penny farthing is this bike. You've got one big wheel, one small wheel. Maybe there's a big component of one thing and a little bit of everything else. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe it's because we're going with that whole English coin thing, and sixpence had basically the same ingredients of Virginia's Perique and some dark fired Kentucky with a rum topping. So maybe that's where we're going with this whole penny farthing type thing. I don't know. But so let's get into it. Penny farthing. It is a Virginia Perique with some dark fired Kentucky in there. Let me read you the label. Penny farthing, a shag cut blend of bright and red Virginia spiced with Louisiana Perique and a hint of fire cured dark Kentucky. Easy to pack, easy to smoke, sip gently. Penny farthing opens with a sophisticated sweetness, evolving in depth and complexity throughout the bowl to a rich, satisfying finish. So that's penny farthing. I'm going to try and show you some here. So as we open it up, it is a shag cut, and let's see if you can see that. So it is a fine shag cut too. See if you can see that. I mean, it is really fine. Okay. I mean, it's the finest shag cut that I've ever seen. Now there's still some chunks in here that they didn't quite get. You know, some chunks of looks to be some bright Virginia to me is still there, but overall it's a mighty fine shag cut in there. What I notice mostly, and you can probably see this as well, it looks mostly like bright Virginias, mostly Virginias. Could be some red Virginias in there too. A little bit of Perique. You kind of got to hunt it, but you can find it. Dark fired, I'm not great at identifying dark fired. Number one, I don't really care for dark fired all that much, and yeah, I've just never spent my time picking it out of a blend. So, but now let me give you my first impressions of the aroma. I get a lot of barnyard smells right away, and so what I mean is I smell hay. I get a little bit of sweetness, right? So that kind of triggers that recollection of that smell of the sweet feed that we had for horses. But I smell hay, sweet feed, smell a lot of earth, right? So kind of that barn earth smell, and a little bit of kind of leather and tack room stuff. But yeah, when I smell it, I'm right away transported to my family's farm in North Louisiana, where it used to be an operating farm. It's no longer. We had a huge barn, and we used to play in the hayloft. And we try to kind of stay out of the tack room because we'd see snakes in there every now and then. But yeah, so I get a lot of hay, but there's a dark earthiness. Get it to my wife, and she smelled, you know, she's like, she didn't say raisins this time. She said, I smell the color purple. So, and what she said she meant by that was, I smell like a deep, earthy, but fruity smell. Right, so there's some sweetness in here. Some fruity sweetness, but definitely some major earth and hay aromas. Okay. Now I have loaded this up already in a pipe, and I'm smoking this in my Radice. This nice fine Radice, little hawk bill. Anyway, let's light it up and talk about it. Okay. One thing I'm noticing is the sweetness from the Virginias. That's the first thing I noticed. Number one, it lit really, really easily. Okay. Took the flame extremely well. So lit easy, and I get the sweetness from the Virginias. All right, now mine was tinned on 624. Okay, so this blend has had about, I guess that's a little over 2 weeks. To meld. So I get some sweetness from the Virginias. But there's something else just in the background. Just that whisper of Perique. I think it's got good mouthfeel. A bit of creaminess in the smoke itself. Not that the smoke tastes creamy, but that the mouthfeel of it. You know, I'm not really a Virginia Perique fan. I want to like them because everybody else does. And so, you know, sometimes I kind of really want to be able to say, oh, I love Sixpence. Or whatever it is that you vapor, Bayou Morning. But I find by and large they don't hit the spot of what I'm looking for in a smoke. The flavor profile is just not right for me. But this could change my mind. There's no real harshness here. Like I said, that sweetness from the Virginia is very apparent. And there's that whisper of a little bit of fruity sweetness. So this Perique is not spicy to me, if I'm getting much. I didn't see very much Perique in there. But it's there. Seems to burn really easy. Seems like this is going to probably be easy to keep lit. My guess is because it's a shag cut, you're going to want to keep it in narrow chambered pipes. And if you're saying, why would you want to do that? So because the components are smaller, I would imagine that they combust easier than, it's kind of like the reverse of a flake cut. One of the advantages if you do a fold and stuff on a flake is that it should burn very cool, right? It should burn very slowly. And so if you're a little bit more on the aggressive side, sometimes flakes can help with that. The problem with the flake is because of that slow burning nature, it can go out very easily on you, especially it just can. It can go out very easily on you. With a shag cut, or maybe even a cube cut, you've got the opposite, where you've got much more surface area exposed to potential flames. And so it seems to combust more readily. And because of that, you really kind of got to watch your pace. If you're smoking it in a big, wide bowl, right? I don't think, people talk about a big, wide bowl, it's better for English, it burns better, and narrow is better for Virginia. I think it's just a matter of narrow exposes less surface area at the top to oxygen. Therefore, Virginia is a little bit better to smoke in a narrow because those can tend to get hotter and bite, where an English blend with its components of Latakia, which is a cool smoking tobacco, can handle a broader bowl. I'm not sure that they taste any different in the different shapes of your bowl. At least I don't think so. I know some people do, and you got all that other stuff. But with this, I'd imagine you want to keep it in a fairly narrow bowl. I think that's a great case in point. I did a lot more talking than I normally do, and it came right back to life. So the shag cut stays lit better because there's more surface area on the individual strands of the tobacco to be lit, and it probably breathes even a little bit better. It's probably more oxygen in the bowl itself. So one of the dangers would be to smoke this too fast, too hot, ruin the flavor. So my guess is a narrow bowl is going to be best, just because it will burn it the best. Okay, we've shifted a little bit into a new gear. Flavor-wise. We've moved a little bit more into a more a little bit darker flavor profile. Maybe we started a little bit higher on the Virginia's, mostly sweetness. Now we're moving into kind of that, I think what some people might call that baked bread notes. And that may be just because I kind of let it go out and then reinvigorated it, right? Because what I associate that with, to me more than anything, is those Virginias. If you're smoking a Virginia, primarily a Virginia blend, this is when that happens to me, is that that darkening of a Virginia flavor, for lack of a better word or term. And my theory on it, I find, like in smoking meat and in smoking tobacco, that there are a lot of theories out there and nobody really knows what causes most of it, because we haven't studied it scientifically. We've just got things that we've all said and we've passed on. But my ongoing theory is that if you smoke a Virginia properly, that next component of Virginia doesn't go straight into combustion like your first quarter of the bowl does, because you light that and it goes straight into combustion. Where it sits and the flame gets, or the kind of embers get closer and closer, and it kind of darkens or stoves that tobacco. So that by the time it combusts and gets to you, that its flavor has changed, because maybe some of those sugars have caramelized. How do you say that? But now I'm rambling on. I find this to be an excellent blend. I don't like Virginia Periques, and it's kept my interest. So, hats off to you, Mr. Pease. This is one heck of a blend. But anyway, this is an excellent blend. I really like it so far. I'll smoke some more of it this week. Although I'm itching to get back to my English blends. But I'll smoke some more. And I'll load up a full review sometime soon. For now, these are my first impressions. Moisture level is pretty much perfect. Loads easy, smokes easy. I mean, the label could not be more accurate to what's going on with this blend. It's not marketing hype. With that, fellas, I'm gonna let you go. It's been Earl. Y'all have a great evening.